What is up, Earthnoids, Spacenoids, and Jovians? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode we are concluding our coverage of Mobile Suit Crossbone Gundam. Last time, Tobiah fell to Earth and laid low with the lumberjack and his ape wife. With the help of Kincaid, he fought and took down the Death Gale team. Krux began his invasion of Earth. Crossbone Vanguard heads to space for one final battle. This time we will see EFF, the Jupiter fleet, and Crossbone Vanguard go head-to-head. Krux will pilot a new mobile armor, and Sabine and Kincaid end things once and for all. So let's get into this. Krux is finishing taking down one of EFF's final satellites orbiting the world. With this out of the way, the Federation will be defenseless. Kars isn't really sad that he lost Giddy, his best new type. He is a survival of the fittest type of person. Krux asks Sabine what he desires. He tells him that all he wants is to restore the aristocracy. Krux plans on giving the Earth to either Sabine or Karas, whoever survives the outcome, essentially. Meanwhile, Sheridan is really regretting taking down the Mother Vanguard. They need Earth to cultivate the future of new types, and will now have to rely on Krux to keep the Earth stable until new types can take over. You know, I really don't understand how the Earth is important for the cultivation of new types, considering most new types are created from third-generation Spacenoids or later. It seems clear that she ultimately wants the same outcome as Krux. She just isn't trying to force progress and actually lets it play out naturally. A base on Earth is being infiltrated by mobile suits. These are the Flints. The EMA-10 Flint is a mass-produced version of Crossbone Gundam developed by SNRI. Many of the features, like the radiation shield, have been removed, but it does retain the variable thrusters. It also retains many of the same weapons as the original Crossbone Gundam, with the exception of the modified beam Zamber and a 120mm machine gun. This model will be given to the Federation after the war to appease EFF once they found out that SNRI was working with Crossbone Vanguard. Uman is piloting one of the units. Kincaid and Tobiah drop down to meet up with the team. As they go in, Kincaid tells Tobiah that he used his beam shield while re-entering Earth's atmosphere instead of a balut system. It was said to be theoretically possible, but Kincaid is the first person to put this theory to test. The Federation forces put up the white flag at the base. There aren't any weapons at the base, but there are a reserve of nukes stored there. They plan on launching the nukes against the Jupiter fleet. This is their only option. Sheridan sent Tobiah an email wanting him to join her new type clan after this battle is over, but he has no intentions of helping her, as he doesn't think he is a new type. Bernadette tells him that he thinks that her father is dead, and the clones are just a mere husk of his former self. Meanwhile, Bear knows that Kincaid has to fight, but she tells him to stay by her side. Of course, he must end this, so she can return to Cecilia Fairchild. You know, this is just a metaphor you created for yourself. She's standing right in front of you. They give each other one very awkward kiss. Why are you doing it like that? Someone teach these two how to kiss. They prepare for launch. When I said they were launching the nukes with their Gundams, I meant literally. Their Gundams are literally attached to the rockets. This is some G-Gundam nonsense. They only have 6 hours left. Tobiah tells Bara that he will be the one who protects Kincaid. Tobiah sends a response letter to Sheridan. She opens the letter. The first thing it says is, "Can you walk 12 kilometers on a mountain road in a single day?" New types are supposed to be beings that are able to adapt to their environment, but even he struggled to walk on Earth. It is a reminder of how important Earth is to new types. It is, after all, still the birthplace of humanity. The rockets launch. As they break through the atmosphere, they activate their beam shields. Tobiah says to God that a mortal will handle this, and he doesn't need to do anything. Tobiah just told God to kick back and take a break. He's got this. The Jupiter fleet and the Federation have been fighting nonstop for the past 2 days. EFF's defenses are completely wrecked. Jupiter notices forces coming from Earth. It is Crossbone Vanguard. They rush in and launch the nukes at the Jupiter's class ship, critically damaging it. Krux can't rely on his men, so he decides to go out and finish this himself. He activates all of the remaining biocomputers. Tobias celebrates, but Kincaid can still feel Krux's presence. X1 and X3 are separated. Many Federation units go down with a single attack. It is Kars in the Nautilus. The EMA-07 Nautilus is a prototype mobile armor used by Professor Kars. This unit only has 2 weapons, a giant beam cannon on the front of the unit and a hyper-vibrating cutting wire. This unit is powerful and requires a skilled pilot to use it in a more subtle manner. He is with a team of new types piloting the Corvarze mass production type. The EMS VSX-1C Corvarze mass production type is a slimmed-down version of the Corvarze, which doesn't have the transformation system of the original. However, the legs tuck into the unit like the Bataya. This version also has only one snake hand, allowing allowing the mobile unit to hold a beam rifle. Other weapons include a large mega-particle cannon and a beam gun. That is when giant mobile armors begin launching from the downed Jupitrus. These are Divinidads. The EMA-10 Divinidad is a giant prototype mobile armor. Its main weapon is the funnel feathers. These are giant funnels stored in the wings designed to ram into enemy units. The funnels don't have their own beam weapons and in many ways work like the psychoplates. It also contains a giant megaparticle cannon on its left eye. It uses the organic computer control system to allow all 8 Krux biocomputers to operate the Divinidads. Other weapons include a medium beam cannon, a beam shield, and nuclear missiles. The funnels are controlled through the Psychomu system. One tears through a Space Art class ship with ease. Or is it a reinforced class ship? Whatever, it is now in pieces. One thing to note is that both Kincaid and Zabine's Crossbone Gundams have received upgrades. The XM X1 Crossbone Gundam X1 Kai, goddamn that's a mouthful, is an upgraded version of the X1 with enhanced sights. The main addition to the unit is the Screw Whip, which is similar to the Quavarze's Snake Hands. The tip of the whip can drill into an enemy's unit. The scissor anchor was replaced with this weapon. The XM X2EX Crossbone Gundam X2 Kai is a modified version of the X2. The core fighter was lost and replaced. Because of this, new thrusters were added to the unit that is equivalent to the variable thrusters. However, due to no core fighter, there are also no escape pods. All weapons are the same as the X2. The two meet on the battlefield and begin fighting. Meanwhile, Tobiah and Karis continue fighting. The X3 is able to tear through some of Karis' wingmen. The professor gives Tobiah a history lesson on evolution and tells him that the Jovians are aliens and the Earthnoids created their own enemy. He dodges the mobile armor and rushes in, attacking Karis. He critically damages the Nautilus. The professor praises Tobiah for being so powerful. Behind X3 is one of the Quavarze mass production types. He has a wide open shot to hit Tobiah in the back. But Karis in the burning Nautilus says that Tobiah won and he shall not stand in the way of the victor. He shoots down one of his own men before going up in flames and dying. The Jupiter fleet is losing its forces fast. They spot another force coming to the battlefield. It happens to be Sheridan and the Spacenoid forces. One thing this manga does is breeze past Cosmo Babylonia. We still don't know what happened between Bera and the old Crossbone Vanguard over the past 10 years. But it is clear that the aristocracy did indeed succeed in taking over the Spacenoids, as Sheridan has the power to command Spacenoid forces. For a change of pace, the Spacenoids are the one protecting the Earth from destruction. The burning Jupitrus launches more pods containing Divinidads. One breaks out of the pod before entering Earth's atmosphere. Bera and Bernadette are still on Earth. She calls out to her mother, begging her to protect everyone. Kincaid notes that the Divinidads have a bunch of nuclear reactors on them. If they all go off at the same time, then who knows how much damage it will do to the Earth. Tobiah promised that he would protect Kincaid, and he pushes one of the Divinidads to Earth's atmosphere. They crash down onto Earth's surface. He tries to dismember the unit to prevent any nuclear reactors from going off. Krux himself doesn't seem to be the best pilot. Tobiah could get the advantage. Back in space, the Spacenoids help turn the tide of war, and the Jupiter fleet begins to fall. Krux reveals his true intentions. He says that for 75 years, he has built Jupiter into what it is. They were able to do so because they limited food and water to its people, and they grew slowly. The Federation, in return, provided barely any resources for them. Eventually, they wanted to form a union between Earth and Jupiter. They made him marry someone from the royal Earth family to create a union between the two nations. But nothing came of it. All he got was a young wife who bared him a child. But he resented her. His daughter is a symbol for what Earth truly represents. In the end, Krux is just a giant baby throwing a tantrum for the world who rejected him. Tobiah is somewhat relieved because this tantrum shows that he truly is human after all. Krux tries to use the Mega Beam cannon. Tobiah rushes in and uses his eye field in close range, causing the beam blast to implode on itself. Kincaid comes in to help Tobiah. He sees Krux's mobile armor go up in flames. As he burns to death, he seems to be in delusion, thinking that the Earth is burning when it is in fact him. Kincaid says this is a delusion, but even you aren't allowed to have this delusion. He kills him quickly to end his madness. Tobiah believes that humans still have plenty of growing to do before new types take over. He and Kincaid regroup with the others. Bera takes off his mask, where he now has a scar over his eye. Kincaid gives Tobiah the X3 to have. He is officially dead. He wants to go back into space to help the Spacenoids and Earthnoids live together in peace. Kincaid has all the time in the world to go be with the person that he loves. Kincaid and Bera can now return to being Seabook and Cecily. Tobiah and Seabook bid each other farewell. He and Cecily disappeared to enjoy the rest of their life on Earth. Even though they are gone, the name Crossbone Vanguard continues to exist amongst the people. And that will conclude Mobile Suit Crossbone Gundam. What a fun story, albeit not without its flaws. I wish we got to see the pirates take all the biocomputers down one by one in unique ways instead of one final blow. But what are you gonna do? Also, why was this biocomputers piloting it instead of remote piloting it like the previous battle? I have some questions. Whether you like it or not, the series is definitely one of the most deserving of an anime series. As we continue through Universal Century, our story with Tobiah doesn't end. Next time, we will dive into Crossbone Gundam, Skullheart, and Steel 7. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember, never let anyone who's never experienced gravity tell you that you're weak. Peace.